All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 season mode playthrough. We are at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Sylvania 300, and it is the opening race of the chase, which means the championship drive is down to just 10, and only 45 points separate first through 10th in the standings coming into this race today. A lot of pressure-packed situations will be coming over the next 10 races throughout the rest of the season into crowning a 2004 champion. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we have full race live streams with a realistic commentary for both real races, virtual races with the video games both past and present, and much more predictions, post-race analysis. We got NASCAR 21 Ignition coming to the channel tomorrow night. Our Daytona 500 live stream at the new NASCAR game will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, so you won't want to miss that. That'll be our custom schedule season, our season one version there on the channel. I'll have to do the points myself because even if there is a season mode, there is likely not going to be an actual custom schedule option, so we'll just go into race now. I'll keep the points myself, and you guys, the fans of the channel, and everybody down in the chat for tomorrow night's stream before the race starts will get to pick the driver I will run for that season. You can also go onto the poll in the community tab and vote for which team you want me to race for in the career mode on NASCAR 21 Ignition. It is down to just 4 teams, so place your vote. Voting ends at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time later tonight. Without further ado, let's get the chase underway. Jimmy Johnson qualified on the pole. He is the number 1 seed after winning the regular season champ. He'll lead the field to the green, and we're underway. Chase race number 1 at New Hampshire. Johnson led all 300 laps in the first New Hampshire race this season after qualifying on the pole. He qualifies on the pole once again today, and he's looking for another quick start. Same setup he's got in the car, and this race is what he did earlier this season. They were both day races, as this track still, even to this day, does not have lights, so this is going to be a big moment for Johnson to hopefully get out and extend that points lead, which is oh so narrow between first and 10th going into these final 10 races. Already receiving 5 bonus points for leading the first lap of the race that last time by. Dark Crypto, Ashton G, Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream, and many others. Throughout the course of the night, and a non-chase driver, Sterling Marlin, in second place after qualifying third, trying to put some pressure on Johnson. He went winless this season. We had 8 different winners in the regular season. The only driver who is in the chase, or I should say missed the chase, that did win a race this year was Elliott Sadler, who won the Daytona 500. But everybody else, the other 7 are in the chase, and in fact, those were all the top 7 in the point standings were the other 7 winners. The 3 drivers that did not win a race, coincidentally, will be 8th through 10th on the grid. Kurt Busch, Bobby Labonte, and Matt Kenseth were those drivers. So 2 Dodges, 2 Fords, and 6 Chevys will make up this inaugural chase field. Jeff Gordon, who qualified in 5th, up to 3rd. He's all over the back bumper right now of Sterling Marlin, trying to pass him for 2nd place. Our first race at New Hampshire also went caution-free. We have had 3 caution-free races so far this season, and this was the last one to go caution-free at this racetrack. I doubt we're going to go 2 races at the same track caution-free, considering that is 600 miles, 600 laps at the same racetrack over the course of 2 races. But we'll see. Hoping to buy the game, but won't be until Thursday. Gotcha. I wouldn't recommend buying the Champions Edition just because $100 for very few more features than what you would have with the Standard Edition and seeing the gameplay of it, I just don't think is worth it. $60 to me looks like it's too much for the game. I feel like the game should be 40 to 50 bucks probably, but 50 being generous. But you know, if it's 60, oh well. But that's just my preference. I'd save an extra $40 if I were you. Tornadoes miss my area northeast and southeast of the area. Man, you're definitely in like probably a more prone situation to seeing tornadic activity versus what I am. I mean, we get tornadoes up here, but it's very rare. I should say it's like our tornado season's May to June or April to June, but to get anything that like touches down, it's like every few years you get one within like probably half hour, 50 minutes of us that usually touches down. So very, very few, but yeah, hopefully everything's all right around your area. Black Ace, welcome to the stream as well. Buy it when it goes on sale. I would imagine it'd probably go on sale not that long after. Like, I'm sure you can find something on like the PlayStation Store or whatever the Xbox Store is. What is it, Microsoft Store? I don't know how that exactly works with Xbox, but I would imagine there's something that, like starting like Black Friday, they'll probably have like coupon codes or whatever. Maybe not necessarily for NASCAR 21 Ignition, but just for games in general that you can maybe get NASCAR 21 Ignition within it, I'd have to imagine. So you might not have to wait long considering it's a later release of what we've seen over the last handful of years with the NASCAR video games. Ashton's buying the standard edition. Yeah, I was going. It was weird the way I bought it. So I thought I was gonna buy the Champions edition, just for the sake of the content on the channel, which it really wouldn't have brought more content, but you know, whatever. I was going to do it, and every time I tried to do it, it wasn't letting me for whatever reason. Like it wasn't even. It kept throwing the standard edition in my cart, and I just bought it on the NASCAR. Or I bought NASCAR 21 Ignition on Motorsport Games' website, and I just put my PlayStation Network stuff in there so that way I could get the digital copy. But for whatever reason, it like was not letting me. It wasn't like my card was getting declined or anything, nothing like that. It was like it wouldn't even. I would try to throw the Champions Edition in my cart, and it just wasn't letting me. So I don't know what the deal was there. So I ended up with the Standard Edition because I was fiddling around with it for like 15, 20 minutes. I was like, okay, this is just ridiculous at this point. And well, in hindsight, at least it looks like I might have made the right move, but it was unintentional at the time. We already get one driver who has blown an engine. I couldn't tell who that was that limped their way to pit road, but we do stay green. He was at the back of the field, it looked like, and was able to get unscathed. Jimmy Johnson has extended this lead in a hurry. Already just over 2.5 seconds in just 13 completed laps to start this race, and he had a reign of dominance in last night's race at New Hampshire, or I should say yesterday afternoon's race at New Hampshire. Richmond, rather. Getting my tracks mixed up. At Richmond in the regular season finale where he led all but 2 laps in the race, and obviously therefore leading the most. Qualified on the pole for that one as well. At a margin of victory of about 15 seconds. 6 drivers finished on the lead lap in that one. We did have 2 cautions in that race, though. And they were both in the first 107 of the 400 laps. Joe Flacco traded from the Eagles to the Jets. Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. Today's not the trade deadline, isn't it? Or tomorrow? Is it tomorrow or is it the following week? I know it's on a Tuesday. I couldn't remember if it was this week or next week. I wonder if my Packers will make any minor moves. I don't think they'll go for anything big. Could be wrong, but yeah, also kind of a wise move to wait for the patches to get done. I don't blame you there either. Well, if anybody's going to be able to beat Jimmy Johnson today, it's going to have to be on strategy. And, well, unfortunately for everybody else, Johnson seems to have the strategy, at least through the first New Hampshire race. We'll hopefully see if anybody might have learned their lesson. Or maybe they're thinking, well, we can't have 2 caution-free races at this track, so maybe they're thinking they still make it on 3 stops and get a couple cautions. But again, going caution-free earlier this year, everybody that was short pitting, literally the whole field short pitted, made it on 3 stops. Jimmy Johnson, he was able to make it on 2 pit stops. So he was able to go just over 100 laps into a run to make it a 2-stop race. Got the regular Lowe's paint scheme back on the car for the next couple races on this season mode. We won't see another race on the channel with this game for a little while, at least a few weeks, until we get into the NASCAR off season. With NASCAR 21 Ignition coming out, I want to make sure over the next couple weeks we do nothing but NASCAR 21 Ignition on the channel, excluding the predictions, post-race analysis videos, and the race highlight video from the grandstands this weekend at Martinsville as well, because I'll be there for the Cup race. So a lot on the channel coming up this week. And the weekly streaming schedule is in the community tab, as well as the poll itself. And the poll is your guys' vote for who I'm going to drive for in the career mode, because you get to pick your team in the game, at least from what I've seen from other content creators in the NASCAR community. Chiefs need to fix the defense. Yeah, it was pretty rough. Mahomes isn't looking like Mahomes either. I guess he got dinged up yesterday from highlights I saw. Yeah, Chiefs are definitely not looking like the Chiefs of the last few years this season. It's kind of odd. They're still only, what, like 1 or 2 games out from the lead in their division, though, so I mean, they can make it up, but if they're going to want to get a first-round bye, I don't think they can really lose that many more games. Maybe 2 at the very, very most the rest of the season, but that's going to be tough, especially the way they're playing now. Couple questions down in the chat for you guys as far as this race goes. How many cautions do you think we're going to have in this race at New Hampshire? I've only really seen 1 race the entire second half of the regular season in which we have had more than 5 cautions, so it's pretty few and far between, it seems like, for most of the races. Been on a little bit of a stretch where we seemingly don't have more than 2 cautions outside of that Watkins Glen race. We'll see. Now that the chase has begun, you know how much the pandemonium gets caused in current playoff races. Same kind of goes for this era of NASCAR and the chase, or what was then their version of NASCAR playoffs. This was the first season of it. Well, no, the Chiefs don't play the Packers this season. Packers are playing the AFC North teams. Billy thinks there's going to be 5 cautions today. Joshua Rumsey, welcome to the stream. Like, man, with my friend Aaron got smacked. I thought you said something about, like, Aaron Rodgers in that at first. I thought you were going to say something about you got smacked around by Aaron Rodgers. He'll do that to you. Virtually and as a fan watching the games at home. Or in the stands. I almost feel like this car is more of a rocket ship than the first race at New Hampshire this season, all things considered. He's got almost a 5-second lead, and we're only 30 laps in. Not even. Not even 30 laps in. Just ran his fastest lap of the race that last time, too, 29.157. But again, we all know anything can happen in these full races, so. And we'll see. Again, I highly doubt we're going to go caution-free 2 New Hampshire races in a row. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Unless the cautions just don't fly at this track for whatever reason. Ten turnovers. Kirk Cousins get benched. I was playing NCAA 06 again today. So I told you guys I won the championship last weekend. I've between yesterday and today, I was able to get 5 games in, and well, Thursday, yesterday and today, I was able to get 5 games in. So started 5-0 in the next season, and I played at number 2 USC to start the year as well. And that was a close game. I almost thought I was going to lose the season opener. But I got one tough non-scheduled game in there, or non-conference game in there, and then I almost lost to Notre Dame again like I did last season too. That was like 59-56 or something ridiculous. I mean, it was like there was no defense at all. Looked like a Big 12 game. I don't know why Notre Dame's so tough in that game, but I didn't lose to them though. Then I pretty much steamrolled the other 3. I just like a half hour before I started the stream, I beat Minnesota 49-7. I think I shut Wisconsin out before that, 20-0. And played Bowling Green in a non-conference game too. I beat them like 42-0. Either my defense is doing like super solid, or I'm giving up like 30+ points. Still got to play a couple more ranked teams before the end of the year. I think Iowa and Ohio State are both in the top 10 again, like they were last season. Well, only last season I played Ohio State at home, so I got to play them on the road, and then I'll have Iowa at home. But at least being undefeated, I don't have to worry about anybody losing. Well, I kind of do, because there's still like 5 or 6 undefeated teams. But one of them's Ohio State, so I mean, we got to play each other anyway. But it'd be nice if they lost before I play them in case I lose, but I'll have to wait and see. Looks like the field's starting to split apart in a bunch of packs on the upper right-hand corner of the screen with the track map. On the upper left-hand corner of your screen for the chase races the rest of the season, you'll get to see where everybody ranks in the chase until we end up getting drivers that will be mathematically eliminated in the second half of this 10-race playoff. But until then, get to see where they all run. Really, Talladega is going to be the difference maker in this chase. Obviously, it usually is every year, but I'd say with it being really, really early, it's only the third race of the chase, that's going to shake the points up quite a bit. And Johnson has not had great runs on the super speedways, outside of Dega, where he did finish second earlier this season, but he had to come back to finish 8th in the summer Daytona race. In the Daytona 500, he finished outside the top 30. And just myself in general with the super speedways in this game, I don't think we finished. I think we had one top 10 in the Busch Series. And then the only super speedway race in the Truck Series is at Daytona, and we finished like 32nd or something like that out of the 36 trucks. I think the only ones we beat were the ones that blew an engine. So it's. I don't have good luck on the super speedway, so I need to turn that around at Dega, or we might be in a bit of a hole going into the final 7 races after that. I mean, Johnson had over a 1-race lead at the end of the regular season. Ended up winning the regular season championship by 230 points over Jeff Gordon, but now he's right back down to a 5-point lead again. And as mentioned at the start of the race, only 45 points over the 10th place car at Kenseth, so it's only 5-point increments between every position to start the opening race here at New Hampshire. Johnson's got about a 9-second lead already, 42 laps in at the Magic Mile. His fastest lap now has grown to a 29.079. Remember, we were in the 28s at one point, like a 28.9. We didn't really run it too much into the 28-second lap barriers the first trip to New Hampshire this season. Maybe we can get a 28.8 today. Can you imagine if Jimmy Johnson goes on to lead all 600 laps at New Hampshire this season? That would be a Kyle Larson level dominance right there. I mean, Larson's got 9 wins in real life. We've got 11 on this season, so it is pretty close, although there's only 2 races left in the actual Cup Series. We still got 10 left. And this is definitely a winnable race for Jimmy Johnson here today. You catching lap traffic for the first time in this race fairly soon. Probably get to him before lap 50. Barring our first caution of the race. Yeah, exactly. There is an extra game this year. But, I mean, they got 4 losses already. And in a 16-game season, usually 3 or 4 losses would be about it for you to get home field, or not home, well, yeah, home field at the very least. But, like, a first-round bye, though, which 2 teams get in each conference. The Packers went 13-3 last year in the regular season, and they got the number 2 seed in the NFC. But the NFC was also more stacked than the AFC. Having the extra game, you might get away with losing 5 games, but I highly doubt it. Like, they may have to win out if they're going to want to get a first-round bye this year. They're either going to have to win out or maybe lose 1 more, but get really lucky if they're going to want a first-round bye. Definitely a lot of tough teams this season. I think Arizona is definitely number 1. I'd probably say the Rams are number 2, but outside of those two teams, like, I mean, and even the Rams, I'm not even completely certain they're number 2 either. I would have said a couple weeks ago they were number 2, but they kind of struggled against the Lions yesterday. Then they kind of struggled the week before that, if I remember right. Maybe not the week before. There was another week recently they struggled too. It might have been against Arizona now I'm thinking about it. So they lost that game. That's probably what I was thinking of. Well, the Chargers are a couple games ahead of the Chiefs anyway, though, too. I think they're at least one game, but I think they're 2 games ahead. And the Raiders are ahead of the Chiefs still, too. I think the Chiefs were last in the division going into the weekend, so with them losing, they're going to be last again. Jimmy Johnson over the last lap and a half has been dealing with lap traffic. Just over a 12.5-second lead in this race. Everybody seemingly gave him a lot of room at New Hampshire earlier this season, so I'd probably imagine that that will be the case again today. Yeah, Cowboys definitely look good too. Okay, I'd probably say the Cowboys look like they're the number 2 team then, only because I'm a little iffy on the Rams just because of how they played this last weekend. Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of forgot about the Cowboys. I'd probably say the Packers are like the 4th best team in the NFC. It seems like every game Green Bay plays is like down to the wire close. Like they haven't really beaten a team by a lot at all this season. I think the most points they beat a team by was Washington this week. They won by 14. Everything before that, I think all their wins were by single digits. So when you got Aaron Rodgers on a football team, you're going to be a contender. Man, Steve Thomas has fallen all the way to the back. He qualified 2nd. He's in that 171 car that we just passed at Home Depot Chevrolet, and he is all the way back outside the top 30. It only took 54 laps to drop all the way back there, too. On short track, nonetheless. A lot of these lap cars are giving Jimmy Johnson plenty of room and going super wide. It's going to make for a very clean day if Johnson could just continue to hook the bottom. Which, I mean, we're about halfway into the fuel run right now, and the car's still got a lot of grip. Well, he hasn't spun the tires or slipped in or out of a corner in the middle of the corner at all in the first 56 laps. Get hard for Menard, everybody. Just put Paul Menard a lap down. Bill Elliott is not in this game. I think you're talking about Elliott Sadler. If you're talking about the DNF Sadler's head. Menard almost got in the back of Johnson that time off turn 4. Jimmy cut back down into the corner. Menard going to take it 3 wide. Jimmy almost gets into Bo Banks in the 191 car, and I think Banks bounces off the wall off turn 2 as they were 3 wide. Jimmy in the middle, but Menard going to get his lap back, and that's going to open the door up for another rookie of Scott Wimmer to get there, and Johnson almost got into Wimmer. So a couple of the rookies, Menard and Wimmer, are holding Jimmy Johnson up. Johnson down to the bottom. Wimmer goes way up the racetrack. He gets really tight Banks will pass him, so will a couple other cars for position. Oh, Wimmer no longer in the free pass position. Or Burton going way up the racetrack as he misses the corner. Johnson slides in front of Menard and Burton off the exit of turn 4. Menard follows Johnson to get back in the free pass position, passing Ward Burton. I guess he hasn't cleared him yet, but he is still on the inside of the 0. Talk about Elliott. Yeah, I would assume we only have one driver that's blown an engine so far. It didn't look like Elliott Sadler. I couldn't tell who it was, but it definitely didn't look like the M&M's car. I don't think Sadler's got any other paint schemes in this game. But I couldn't tell who that was earlier, though. They were already on pit road and, like, making the way into the... Or I should say they were on pit road when we saw them up in smoke, so I couldn't tell who it was when it happened. Yeah, divisional games are usually pretty tight. Majority of the time. I don't think Indy's that great, but I just feel like Derrick Henry's just going to run all over him. Their defense is pretty good, though. They'll probably neutralize Henry at least a decent amount. I don't think they'll neutralize him completely, but, you know, honestly, if you hold Derrick Henry to less than 80 yards rushing, that's a win. 80 yards isn't a bad game either. Oh, no, Elliott Sadler actually finished second last night at Richmond. Yeah, he finished the race and actually finished in second place, his second best finish of the year, excluding the only race he won at Daytona to start the season. Going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today for about the next 8 laps. Sure, you'll be seeing some green flag pit stops here before long, assuming the AI pits before lap 100 like they did in the first race at New Hampshire this season. Likely going to be a 3-stop race for them, but only a 2-stop race for Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, they'll be in a dome. It won't be pouring rain like it was last night. I did watch a little bit of the game, pretty much the entire second quarter, and it was definitely pouring out there. Well, his streak was only... Sadler's streak was only really at one race, but he had a stretch of blowing... Or no, it was 2 races. 2 races in a row. But he had 7 blown engines in the last 9 races leading up to last night. Now it's still 7 in a 10-race stretch, so hopefully he doesn't make it 8 out of 11 and he can start to get back on track and still fight for 11th in the point standings, because that's as high as he could finish to the end of the season with not qualifying for the chase. Which is unfortunate, because in real life he actually did qualify for the chase in 2004 and ended up finishing 9th in the points. But he will not be in the inaugural chase virtually. Johnson trying to lap the 199. He was really trying to side draft in there a little bit off the exit of turn 2. Jeff Green going to go wide. Give up his time for Johnson to get around him. Johnson's clear off turn 4. Jimmy has not made contact with anybody in the first 68 laps, and he's not hit the wall at all either. Super clean day so far. So I have not dressed up for Halloween in a while. Like, I mean, it's probably been since I stopped trick or treating when I was like 12 or 13. But then there was one year I dressed up and handed out candy like a couple years after the fact. I was probably like 15 or 16 when I did it. And that was the last time I dressed up for Halloween. And I'm 22 now, but we're having a costume party at work on Friday. And I figured, I was like, oh, you know what? Why not? So I purchased my stuff this last weekend on Saturday, my first break. And yeah, I'll be dressing up. And I'll probably end up actually wearing my costume on the stream Friday. So if you tune in Friday night, I think we have Dirt Bristol Friday night for NASCAR Heat, or sorry, for NASCAR 21 Ignition for our custom schedule season. So for the Dirt Bristol race, tune in, get to see what I'm gonna dress as for Halloween. I won't spoil it. I'll keep that a surprise. There's Rusty Wallace. He was the first driver to miss the chase on points. He was 11th in the point standings at the end of the regular season. Did not have a great finish last night, despite running as high as second in the first 100 laps of the race. That second caution, really what ended up being the final caution, hurt him. He had a pit road penalty for pitting after the yellow had already waved, which therefore pit road would have been closed. After Casey Kane had hit the tire barrier at the front of the pit road entrance after trying to make his stop, he kind of slid the tires, and that was a tough break. 5 hours, 23 minutes away. Oh, from NASCAR 20. Well, I'm not going to be up at midnight playing it. I got to work tomorrow morning. I'll be out at like 10:30 at the latest. I've been going to bed like really early lately, 9, 10 o'clock for the last couple weeks. I'm kind of glad at the same time though. I'm getting back in the swing of waking up earlier again. For like 3 or 4 weeks there, I was sleeping in till like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning on my days off, and the day like, I mean, it just flew by even more than what it already would. But I've been set my alarm for like 7:30 on my days off recently because I've been going to bed at like 10:30, so I'm still getting like over 8 hours of sleep. But I definitely plan on putting the PS4 rest mode as soon as this stream ends, or at least before I go to bed, and that way and log on, and if there's any patches, I can get everything patched up before I go and stream tomorrow. Yeah, the countdown is here though, that is for sure. Well, the countdown has been here, but now it's down to the waning hours. Brian Vickers going wide. Vickers' teammate Jimmy Johnson again. Only 2 of the Hendrick Chevys made the chase, and only 2 of them have won any races this year. But boy, have they won a lot between the 2 of them. 15 combined wins in the 24 race regular season for Hendrick Motorsports. Johnson with 11, Jeff Gordon with 4. They had that stretch where they won 10 races consecutively between the 2 of them over the course of the regular season. But again, the question was, did they peak too early? And how will these 2 go into the chase? Of course, they're the number 1 and number 2 seed. Definitely the championship favorites. They're the 2 most winningest drivers this season, on top of the most consistent. Saw Gordon up to 3rd place earlier on before Johnson started to pull away. I assumed Gordon was able to get by Marlin. Seemed like he was faster, but who knows if somebody else might have taken away 2nd from Gordon in that stretch. So got a long ways to go in this one, so you got to be patient, especially in the chase races now that the championship is really, really on the line. And 1 DNF goes a long way. And Johnson has not DNF'd this entire season. which helped lead him to that regular season championship, but can't afford in these final 10 races to have that first DNF of the year. He's pretty much from this point going to have to not DNF the entire season. He's going to want a good chance to win the title. The competition is absolutely stiff. These are the 10 best drivers this season. They're the most consistent. 7 of them have won this year. And for 5 of them, they've won multiple races. One thing, though, if Johnson could somehow lead every lap in this race, that would allow for him to not only lead the most laps, but that would keep anybody else from leading a single lap, which means nobody else will get a single bonus point in this race. And Johnson could get 10 bonus points. Plus, if he goes on to victory lane, obviously on top of that, it's a max points day. Even if, let's say, Gordon finishes in second with no laps led, to remain second in points, Johnson would expand that lead from a 5-point lead coming into the day to a 25-point lead. Which, again, isn't big, but better than what it would be otherwise. I mean, we'll see if anybody else can make it on 2 stops outside of just Jimmy Johnson, but really going to depend on where the cautions lie if we get any, and exactly how this race is going to run. Dress up like a broke college student, which I am. Yeah, the only hint I'll give is that I'm dressing up as an ex-professional wrestler. Ex meaning he's retired now. Quarter tank of fuel. It was at lap 85, about right when he crossed the start-finish line to lap 85. 23-second race lead. It's only another 6 seconds of a gap away from being able to lap the field already, and we're only not even a third of the way into this race. Johnson won this race by 4 laps earlier this season, but again, he lapped the field twice. The only reason he lapped him an extra 2 times is because he made it on 1 less pit stop, and with this being a short 1-mile racetrack, he was able to obviously lap the field 2 times because of it. Extra, at least. You see cautions quite a bit, though, in the middle of green flag pit stops, or as they're starting, as they're finishing. Whatever the case, green flag pit stops come around. That's like one of the more dangerous parts of the race. And it seems like that on pretty much every racetrack, from 1.5 miles to short track to bigger intermediates to super speedways. I mean, it's just road courses. I've seen it on literally every type of racetrack so far this season. And I don't see why these chase races would be any different. But maybe tonight's would, only because we did go caution-free in this race, or at this racetrack earlier this season. Contact up there, getting into turn 3. A couple bump and runs being made. Gonna dress up like a beach bum. Yeah, I won't actually be here on Halloween. So that's why I'm not dressing up on Halloween itself for the channel's sake. But because my costume party's on the Friday, then the workout there. I'll be at Martinsville watching the Cup race on Halloween. But we'll see. We'll see. I can't wait. Only 6 days away. Leaving in 5 days. Only got 3 days of work before I leave. So and we got NASCAR 21 Ignition coming. So this week's gonna fly by leading up to Martinsville, which I'm liking. Just can't wait for Sunday to get here. Get to have Bojangles again? Oh, yes. I'm unfortunate to live in the Midwest where we don't have any Bojangles or Zaxby's anywhere near us. And get to have some good Southern fried chicken this coming weekend. It'll be the last time until I go to Daytona in February. So it'll be the last time for a handful of months here. At least a few months. Martinsville race NASCAR 21 Ignition on Halloween. There you go. Oh, contact! Johnson pulled up way too soon as he was 3 wide on the inside of Kevin Harvick and Bobby Labonte, and he pinched Harvick. And Harvick had to get out of the gas to keep it off the 18. Kurt Busch almost gets into Ryan Newman. He slipped up big time off the exit of turn 4. A couple cars, Sterling Marlin and Matt Kenseth, came into the pit lane. Johnson laps Ryan Newman into turns 1 and 2 now, and there's quite a few drivers a lap down, a few of them short pitting before lap 100, which again means that at least not everybody's going to be able to make it on 2 stops. Oh, you got to work again. That's a bummer. Yeah, it starts at 2 p.m. this weekend. Kenseth and Marlin were side by side coming out of the pits there. Kenseth filed right in front of Marlin. I think Marlin, let the chase driver in. Let him in front of him for now. Definitely one of those situations where you had to be a little bit more patient. Last thing you want to do is wreck a chase driver, especially in the first race of the chase. Jeff Gordon, who just came out of the pits, he's trying to get up to speed. Johnson to the outside. He's going to pull down and block his teammate down the back straightaway, who's got fresher tires in case we get a caution. He's going to be an extra lap down. Still got a 28-second lead for Johnson, lap 96. Oh, yeah, Zaxby's is my favorite. Unfortunately, though, the closest one in Virginia, because you got to go down to, like, North Carolina where you start finding, like, a ton of them. Like, even in Kentucky, the only ones are really, like, towards Lexington area. Or I've driven down there, you got to get into, like, Tennessee more before you find any extra Zaxby's. But the closest one to where we're staying is, like, 55 minutes. So that's a little bit of a haul just to go get Zaxby's. Unfortunately, I might have to skip out on that this weekend, but maybe I'll double up on the Bojangles. Who knows? At least I get one of them. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. At a friend's house right now. Well, hopefully you guys are enjoying the race. Almost a third of the way in. We're in the middle of green flag pit stops. I believe Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the last car in the lead lap, trying to make it to lap 100. He is very, very close to doing so to try and make it on fuel. Stay out another lap, but Jimmy Johnson is catching up in a hurry to Dale Jr. Lap 99. Dale is going to be lapped off the exit of turn 2. Johnson clears him with ease. Yeah, we have Popeyes near us, but... Oh, car on the wall! The 191, I believe, of Bo Banks. Looked like he had some help off the front bumper of Ward Burton in the 0. Johnson just scraped the wall off the exit of 4, and Dale Jr. almost got back around him. Johnson overdrives turns 1 and 2, and Dale Jr. is back on the lead lap, but Jr. slides up the track off the exit of the corner as Johnson pins the car down to try and block Gordon. Well, it's lap 100. Dale Jr.'s made it as far as he needed to try and make it on 2 stops, so it seems like the AI is getting a little bit better fuel mileage than what we saw at New Hampshire earlier this season. Jr. again loses a lap off of turn 4, and there's a ton of lap traffic in front of the race leaders. Steve Thomas goes wide. I don't think he had any help from the 119 car of Barry Baker, but he might have. Oh, there you go. That's pretty cool, Billy. Kyle Petty coming out of the pit lane. Awkward angle into turn 1 for Jimmy Johnson because of it. Yeah, I mean, Popeyes is good, but man, Bojangles and Zaxby's is better. I think so, at least. I agree with you on that one, Joshua. Some good chicken. Getting hungry just thinking about it now. Now I'm in the mood for chicken. And I know I'm not having chicken tonight, so it's that's a shame. Last thing I need to be doing right now is thinking about food with still over half the race to go. Because that is not... I'm going to start to lose focus and mess up with his so far perfect race for Jimmy Johnson. But a commotion in the middle of green flag stops. Just has to make sure he doesn't speed when entering his pit box. I mean, I guess he's got time to kill if he does end up speeding, but still don't want to do that. Get good practice, of course, for later in the race. Did not practice at all, knowing we had a perfectly fine setup earlier this season, so only qualified and started this one from the pole. Chick-fil-A is pretty good, too. But, yeah, we got a lot of those near us. I mean, really, the only, chicken places that I could think of that we don't have in Ohio, or at least, in our region, would be, Zaxby's and Bojangles, which is why I eat those at those places when I go down south, because I don't have them up here. Probably another reason why I think it says good, because I very rarely get a chance to even eat it. Johnson only going to be able to go a few more laps. Probably take it to lap 109 and then make his first pit stop of the night. Only have one more following this. He's got a 2-lap lead on the field because everybody else has pit except for the 48. Now, Dale Jr. right behind Johnson. He was the first driver a lap down. Actually, the last driver even on the lead lap. I would like to think that he is going to be able to cycle in front of the 48 car. Johnson has a ridiculously fast stop, which I guess isn't impossible. So cheap, so I'd use Chick-fil-A. Honestly, though, Bojangles and Zaxby's to me seems pretty cheap, too. Zaxby's is a little cheaper, I believe, but I mean, they're honestly, all three of those places are pretty cheap. At least for what I get at Bojangles and Zaxby's is pretty cheap. Pretty much get the same thing every time. At least with Zaxby's, Bojangles, I changed it up the last couple times. Mainly because I didn't have what I wanted originally, but hopefully they got my order of chicken this time. The ones I want, I mean, they obviously had chicken. Chicken place runs out of chicken. That's a little bit of a problem. Might have to close down for the day if they do that. All right, so Jimmy Johnson going to pit this time by at lap 109 for his first pit stop of the day. He had no speeding penalty issues the first time we were here earlier this season. And this time around, at least through the first stop, not going to have an issue either. 4 tires and fuel coming up for the 48 crew of Jimmy Johnson. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So no adjustments for the 48 crew. So we've gone through the first set of pit stops without a caution so far tonight. We only got one more to go. And a clean stop for the Lowe's bunch. There goes Gordon. He's back on the lead lap. Johnson drifted his way out of the pit lane. So I believe there is only 2 cars on the lead lap right now. That would be Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. That's unbelievable. Scott Riggs up ahead is already 1 lap down, so he'll be 2 laps down when Johnson catches him this time by. Obviously, if you're 1 lap down, caution comes out. If you're the first driver lap down, you can get the free pass. So even if Gordon gets lapped here, caution could still bail him out and he'd be right back on the lead lap. But even Johnson's teammates don't have anything for him on speed today. They no burgers and fries at McDonald's. How does that happen? I don't care how heavily populated of an area you live in. You gotta order enough. Like, you can't tell me that they don't have enough money. As big of a franchise as that is. They might as well run out of running water. What would you like to drink? I'll take a water with that. Oh, we don't have any water. So, what? How do you not have water? Just run to the sink. Jeff Gordon goes a lap down off the exit of turn 2. Jimmy Johnson back to a 1-lap lead on the field. Lap 115 this time by. Still just over second half of the race. Our McDonald's is lazy. Oh, no. Yep. Yeah, the closest McDonald's to us was the one I worked at when I was in high school, and they're pretty. Their service is really good. Not just saying that because I worked there, but it is pretty good. The people that run it are really nice. And just good people. They really cared about their business, too. Which, I mean, obviously most owners do, but, I mean, they were even to the point where, you know, they were helping out on the assembly line, even if, like, things were getting backed up, like if there was, like a high school football game or something going on, that they would, which I guess there wasn't really a football team anywhere near there. The baseball fields were, like, right behind us, so during the springtime, we were always busy with baseball and softball going on. But they would be, they'd even help out. They weren't the kind of people that, you know, would tell you what to do because they can't do it themselves kind of thing. Like, they would actually, like, legitimately try to go out of their way to help people. They were really nice, too, though. Even outside of the workplace. Went to the Mother's Day Kansas race. Tried pulled pork. Yeah, anytime I go to a new track is when I get food. If I've been there before, I usually don't get food unless I didn't get food like the first time I went, which was kind of the case with Indy. I had Indianapolis's pork tenderloin that they're kind of famous for, and very, very good. If you ever go to Indy for a NASCAR race or the Indy 500 or any kind of racing, you got to have a pork tenderloin. I'm upset I didn't have it the first time I went. I don't even think I ate anything at the track the first time I went. But probably because it was raining that day of the race, and then the day after, it was a fiasco of itself outside of the race. So probably why I didn't eat at the track. But here we go. Oh, they ran out for you. That's man, that's before COVID too. I know since COVID, it's been really bad. Like a lot of the races I've gone to, they're out of this, like out of food, out of water. They just run out of stuff. And that was like even when they had smaller attendance sizes, they were doing that. It's like, how do you even allow that to happen? I mean, it's the same situation we were just talking about with McDonald's running out of burgers and fries. Like, it's like, how does that even happen? Especially with water. Like, that just becomes dangerous, especially in the middle of the summer. I guess Nashville ran out of water. I had enough with me, though, that it was no big deal. I bought a case at Walmart. I forget what Walmart I was at. It was somewhere Bowling Green, Kentucky, I think. It was before I stayed in the hotel the first night. And went to Walmart and got a case of water, so that way I had some for the race and the rest of my trip. Had to get a cheeseburger. Yeah, it's just not the same, especially if they're known for their pulled pork. I was a little underwhelmed by so Bristol Motor Speedway. They have a few Bush's baked bean stands there, so that's what they're kind of known for at that track. And I'm not gonna lie, I had the nachos with the Bush's beans on it, but it was a little underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. Like I love baked beans, but I love nachos. I don't know why it wasn't there. I think the crackers tasted kind of stale, like bland. Just had a weird taste. Then the first time I was at Bristol, I had because they were out of those nachos for the All Star race last year, and they were out of water and stuff. I was like, well, I guess I'll just get a pizza, and it was the super tiny like. I don't know if you've ever gotten like those little Caesars like pizza kit. Back when I was younger in school, we always had like little Caesar pizza kits where you kind of made your own pizza, and it was like a little circle, and that's basically what they gave you for your pizza. And it was like I forget how much it was. It was like $8 or something ridiculous for it, and it was like 4 baby squares or triangles, I guess, of pizza. Like I would have paid like $2-3 for it. It was like $8, and that was all. That was like all they had. And that was before the All Star race even started, because that was in between the Open and the All Star race. That's like all they had. It's like, how does that even happen? There's only 30,000 people here. I couldn't imagine when you guys have 150,000 running out of stuff. I didn't hop in line on Sunday of the Cup race. I don't know if they ran out of stuff then. I only hopped in line for those Bush's Beans that night of the truck race. I didn't get in line for the Xfinity or the Cup race. So I would assume, at least as far as I know, they still had water and everything else. But I didn't have to. I think it was in between the ARCA race and the truck race was the reason why I even got food that first night. Just kind of waiting it out in between races. All hail the supreme leader, Kim Jong-un. Welcome to the stream. My goodness. Would I ever visit North Korea? I'm not a big, like, even to travel, like, to Europe or Asia or something, that's not really on my bucket list. any countries. Like North Korea would just be dangerous if I went there. I don't feel like I'd make it back home, honestly. I'd be a little scared for my life. But no, it's outside of that, though. In all seriousness, though, I'm not too keen on planes. That's what I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous about Auto Club next year. Having to fly out there. I'm not kidding you guys. Especially going by myself too. That's I'm gonna be freaking out on that plane. Vlog myself freaking out. Like, I'm not gonna be like yelling or anything like that if I was freaking out, but I guarantee you I'll probably work up a sweat. Gonna get so anxious just for that plane to hit. I'm not gonna be able to sleep. 99 car kind of pinching Johnson down a little bit down the back straightaway, not too aggressively though. Well, he did in the middle of the corner. It was a little bit of contact. All right, Johnson's clear off the exit and turn 4 anyway. Nothing major. Almost halfway home. Still no caution here today at New Hampshire. First college football game went to, they ran out of nachos when I got to the concession stand. That's a little excusable though, because most college football games, like if you're in a Power 5 school, there's a lot of people there. So then there's a bunch of college students. I feel like people get up all the time throughout the game. Like I just don't feel like a lot of people get up during NASCAR races as much. So, and there's typically less than what you'd see at most college football games. So somewhat excusable, I guess. I mean, I could drive, but I already looked. It's 33 hours. It's not worth it. If I was going to all 3 West Coast races, like in the same swing, I would. But I can't get that kind of time off of work. And, that'd be cool to do later on in life. But, yeah, just going to only the one race weekend. I mean, it would literally take me like a couple days to drive out, like a couple days after the race to drive back. Like, I'd have to take probably 5 days off. Well, wouldn't have to take 5 days off, considering the weekend will fall in there, but I'd have to take a few extra days. And with it being the week after Daytona, too, I have no choice but to fly. No choice. Don't have any plans to attend any race next year yet. Well, maybe you'll win the playoff championship. I'm not sure where you're ranking right now on the fantasy league. Don't you live close to Gateway in Kansas though? Gateway would be a cool one to go to. They haven't had a cup race before. So. I mean, I plan on going to Gateway. I'd like to go to Kansas. I haven't been there yet. I don't know if I go next year, though, just because I pretty much already know the races I'm going to. But within the next couple seasons, Kansas will definitely be there, because that's about a 10-hour drive for me. So between that and Richmond, those are the only tracks within 10 hours that I have not been to yet. So, well, and then Gateway, obviously, but that just popped on the schedule. I'll be going there next year. But yeah, outside of that, it's going to be some long travels like Daytona and California here. Auto Club, I guess, next year. Looks like Inside Uranus is going to Sonoma, so Sonoma's probably going to be another one next year getting to. Because they're so far away, I mean, out of technicality, it looks like I'd be at 11 Cup races, but 2 of those are the Daytona Duel. So I'm counting those, though. If I can count the All-Star race, and you guys let me count the All-Star race, I'm counting the Duel races as another Cup race. Gateway is closer? Gotcha. Yeah, I know you're a lot closer to St. Louis. That's like almost insane. It's actually in Illinois, which I was surprised. I didn't know it was in the state of Illinois, but it's really, really close to St. Louis on the map. But yeah, I've never been to St. Louis before, so that'd be pretty cool. Maybe I'll get lucky and the Tigers will play the Cardinals that weekend. That'd be pretty cool. I highly doubt it, especially to be in an interleague game, but I guess you never know. But if they do, though, I'd be down. That would be super catastrophic if someone arguing. But where's my beer? You see, that's the one thing that, like in February though too, like especially the winters that I have up here, like the chances of the flight getting delayed, I feel like are just so. Like I feel like that's like the big. I mean, that's also why flights are cheaper that time of the year too. So I will get bailed out and probably get something for a really affordable price. But at the same time too, the chances of it getting delayed and I'd be fearful of that, especially getting to the racetrack. It's like I kind of need to get there tonight because the race is tomorrow afternoon. So way too late to start driving. Yeah, there's a good chance I'll be at Sonoma next year. That'd be pretty cool. I've been on a consistent streak of going to a lot of road courses over the last few seasons, so that's the only road course race I'm planning on going to next year. But I haven't been there yet, so it gives me incentive to definitely head out. Taking 2 trips to California next year, 2 separate times of the year, 2 different complete areas of the state. So that'd be pretty cool. That time change is gonna mess me up though, I guarantee it. Especially only being out there for a weekend and then having to come back to work. Gonna be getting. It'll help on the way out there. Like on the way there, it'll be nice because it's like I could, like even if I wanted to schedule something Friday after work to fly out, and my flight's at like 8 o'clock. By the time I land, it's only gonna be like maybe 9, 10 o'clock their time, so I'm not gonna really miss out on much there. But as far as the day leaving after the race, so that's gonna be kind of a rough one, especially if the flight gets delayed. I mean, I'm gonna be tired going into work that Tuesday morning. Not so much for the Sonoma trip though, because that's in June. We don't. I don't think anywhere in the U.S. gets snow in June unless you're like on mountaintops or something in the Rockies. That's like the peak though too. I don't have any In-N-Outs anywhere near me. I've never seen an In-N-Out. Never seen one. I've never been out west before either. I haven't even been to like mountain time zone. Central time zone a couple times. The furthest west I've actually been is Chicago. For Juliet for the Chicago. Well, no, sorry, I'm wrong about that. Road America this year. That was a little bit further west, but that's like Midwest though, so it's not really like west. And then Talladega is somewhat west because it's Central Time Zone, but it's barely. And we're still on the eastern side of the Mississippi. Same thing with Nashville. That's still the eastern side of the Mississippi too. But yeah, I haven't been out west. I haven't been out west. I haven't been in the Well, I guess Watkins Glen's kind of the Northeast. I guess not like in the upper Northeast, like the New England region, but like New Hampshire would be. But I mean, Watkins Glen's upstate New York. So I guess I've kind of been over in that area, but I've never been to Florida yet either. So that'll be my first trip to Florida when I go to the 500 next year. AL West or AL East next season. Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't really. I don't know exactly how the baseball schedule works. The only thing I know about the MLB schedule is you have to play each divisional team 19 times a year. As far as the other non-divisional games, I have no clue how they make up the schedule in the MLB. Pretty heavy lap traffic coming up in front of Jimmy Johnson over the next couple quarters. We'll see how he'll navigate through it. See if most drivers will give him plenty of room, as that has been the case for most of the night. Really, the last two races, you consider the same thing happened also at Richmond. Johnson still with a one-lap lead on the field, caution free, and we are officially halfway home. 150 laps complete, another 150 to go in the Sylvania 300 at New Hampshire. Magic Mile, the host of the first race of the Chase in this 2004 season. Next race, we go to another 1 mile racetrack for the second time this year as we go to the Monster Mile in Dover, Delaware. With the first trip to Dover on the season. Oh, contact with Casey Mears. Johnson drifted a little bit too far wide off the exit of turn 2 as he was 3 wide. Still 3 wide all the way into turn 3. Vote Quinn Hop for NASCAR ignition. Yeah, you guys get to vote. Again, 7 people. Oh, man, 133 car went way up the track into turn 1. They're going to be 3 wide off the exit of the corner. I think that was Steve Thomas that made it past both Casey Mears. In the 133. Good pass for him, and now he'll swing wide, and Mears will cross him back over. Those guys are each multiple laps down already. But yeah, don't forget, again, the vote for the season mode, the custom schedule season, that starts tomorrow night with the Daytona 500 on NASCAR 21 Ignition. You guys will get to vote. That vote will be in the chat before the start of the race. So right as we go live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, those first 5 minutes of the stream is simply going to be you guys voting for which driver I will run as, simply just whatever I see the most of. I only count one vote, so, you know, you only get one vote. If you start spamming it, I only count it as one for one person specifically. Jeff Green almost squeezes the 192. Mark Lockhart. And then also, don't forget to vote in the community tab on the channel. Go to the channel, go to the community tab section, and place your vote for the career mode. Again, the voting ends tonight at 10:30, which is pretty much when I go to bed. So 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's your final chance to vote for the for the NASCAR 21 Ignition career mode. What team I will race as. It's down to just 4 teams. Hendrick Motorsports, Colleague Racing, Chip Ganassi Racing, and Gaunt Brothers Racing are the 4 based off of the polls that we had yesterday. Those were all the top 4 votes that made it to this poll. And the winner of this poll is going to be who I sign as. Again, the career mode races will start on Saturday. My lights just flickered. Oh boy. I hope it's not still raining heavily outside right now. We lost power once during a stream a few weeks ago, and I don't want to do that again. You guys have to let me know if you saw that too. It is spooky season after all. Just make multiple. I mean, I guess you can do that, and I wouldn't know. Same thing kind of goes for the polls too. There was somebody in the comment section of one of the polls yesterday that said like Hendrick Motorsports all the way, vote for Hendrick, and or it might have been today's poll, but I you know, even like I voted. I don't think they were talking to me, but if they were, you know, telling me to vote for Hendrick, I can't actually vote on my own polls. Like even if I go in on my phone, if I set it on my laptop or set it on my phone, go on my laptop, I can't vote. Because if I would have voted, I would have voted for Penske and Wood Brothers. But, yeah, I didn't get a chance to vote at all. Which I guess neither one of those two teams would have won their respective polls anyway. But I didn't even have a choice. Well, same with today. Like, I'd probably choose colleague racing if I had the choice between the four. Last I checked before we went live, Hendrick Motorsports was leading the poll, but colleague racing was closing in. It was like 50% to 33%. There were 20 votes at the time. And then Gaunt Brothers had like 13% or something like that. And then I think like only 5% for Chip Ganassi Racing. So definitely make sure you place your vote. You only have a few more hours to do so. About 3 more hours roughly. Britt slipped up the track into 1 and 2, going really wide. Scott Wimmer behind him did as well, though. Johnson gets through and clears them both. Joshua just voted. There you go. And don't miss your chance to vote. Billy chose Hendrick. There you go. I know Hendrick would be the 48 car in the game based off of what I've seen from other NASCAR YouTubers. Because it's kind of like a set team. Colleague, I would assume, is the 16. I don't know for sure, but... Well, they only have one car this year anyway, so I guess it would be the 16. Gaunt Brothers would be the 96. They're a single-car team. I don't know what car it'd be for Chip Ganassi Racing. I'd probably assume the 42, but I guess it could be the one. I would assume the 42 car, though. So if I do sign for Hendrick, we're the 4th Hendrick driver. We'll be taking over the 48, and Alex Bowman's going to be out of a ride in NASCAR 21 Ignition career mode, at least. Again, those will be full races, but those will be premieres, and they'll be chopped up into 20 to 40-minute videos. I'll probably live stream the career mode every now and then, but especially this weekend going to Martinsville, they will be premiered. The live streams will be the season mode races. So we'll be live streaming the first 4 nights of the season mode, and then we'll take over the career mode into the next weekend, and then back to the season mode when I get back for either Monday or Tuesday. Well, speaking that, I'm assuming you're not North Korean. I don't think you can vote, but for him, even if it was a legitimate election in North Korea. That's pretty close to his fastest lap of the race that last time. His fast lap so far is a 29.031. That last lap was a 29.097. Just over halfway through this current fuel run. Into making it into his final pit stop of the race. Still caution free over halfway through. I just think we have ran over 450 laps at New Hampshire this season. We haven't had a single yellow. Johnson's got a 1-lap lead on the field. So if we do get a caution, second place would get their lap back. One more pit stop left in the race for Johnson. There will be other drivers that can make it on 2 stops today. Dale Jr. seemingly is one of them. Not everybody will be able to make it on 2 stops. Versus the first race at New Hampshire, Johnson was the only one to make it on 2 stops. Tell you what though, the quick race pace, this race took less than 2.5 hours earlier this season. We go caution free again, that's going to be the case. I might be able to, well, I'm definitely eating dinner after this, but then after that, I mean, I'll still probably be up for another hour, hour and a half. Might get another NCAA football game in. Then I won't be able to for the next few days. I probably won't be able to again until next week, honestly. I'm not going to have time. Martinsville next weekend, and then Thursday is my next day off, but I need to record the career mode episodes on Thursday, so those could be uploaded Saturday and Sunday, so I'm going to be pretty busy. 130 laps to go this time by at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Still have to alternate through the different camera angles one more time in today's race while there's a bunch of open traffic. What better time to do it right now? We'll get back to the start-finish line this time by. Do that for about 8 laps, and that'll be the final time today at New Hampshire that you will see the alternating camera angles out of the front of the 48 car. We'll get the cockpit cam back for NASCAR 21 Ignition when we alternate cameras, so that'll be nice. It's kind of unfortunate they don't have it in this game. They had it in Thunder 04, they just don't have it in this game for whatever reason. One thing that's going to stink with the full races is not having a rearview mirror, especially on the super speedways. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little scared for the 500 tomorrow night, only because there is no rearview mirror and we're doing a full race. And the cautions are pretty glitchy too, so between all of those situations, it's going to be interesting. We're not going to be running any stages for the opening season, at least, unless they somehow get that patch tomorrow night. Or for tomorrow night, but I doubt it. So likely not going to be seeing any stage racing for season 1. I don't want to change it in the middle of the season either. Whatever it is at the start of the season, that's what we're going to have it. To the end of the year. I don't want to add stages like halfway through the season when the patch becomes available just because it's going to give drivers who maybe could have had playoff points earlier in the year not have them versus drivers that got them late in the year that wouldn't have got them earlier in the year. So that would mess up the whole points standings the way they would have been and the way they will end up being. Use Hendrick vote for the 5. Well, I can't choose what car specifically in the career mode. It's a set car you have to run. Unless you're talking about tomorrow night for the season mode. For the season mode, that's open to anybody. Except for BJ McLeod because we ran him in Heat 4. But Heat 5, we ran Jimmy Johnson. So, you know, outside of BJ McLeod, you guys can literally vote for anybody in the season mode. I'd prefer, if we're running for a specific team in the career mode, not to have that same team in the second in the season mode, but I mean by my stipulations, I guess I technically could. We're not running for Live Fast, so I mean outside of that, I guess it technically would have the potential to be the same. Somebody also mentioned in the chat, if I run Hendrick Motorsports on the career mode, with knowing I'll be in the 48 car, I can literally try to go for another championship in the 48 car. And I found that funny because I didn't even think about that. We're going for a championship in NASCAR Chase for the Cup 05 right now with this season mode playthrough in the 48. We won a title in the 48 car in NASCAR Heat 5. Now we might be able to do it in NASCAR 21 Ignition. I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh my goodness. I'd like there to be more variety, but that is kind of funny too. Yeah, exactly. We're doing 2 seasons anyway, so you know, second season we'll have stages. At least it'll add variety into the one season to the next. Plus, the second season will be the actual 2021 schedule too, so that'll be variety versus what we're going to have for our own custom schedule in season 1. Lap 180 now. We'll go back to the far chase cam for the rest of this race. Want Blaney in the final. I do too. I mean, you could. All Penske cars might miss this weekend. I don't know. It's gonna be tough because, like, you know, let's say Truex wins at Martinsville this weekend. Elliott and Hamlin are so far ahead in points, unless they fail to finish the race, or those other 3 drivers score a ton of stage points and they don't get any stage points. Even if they don't, like, they still have to beat him by like 10 positions in the final stage too. So yeah, unless Elliott or Hamlin get into trouble and they have significant damage with their car, or fail to make it to the end of the race, is really the only way anybody's going to have of being able to outpoint them. And if Blaney, Busch, Truex, Keselowski, Logano, if one of those guys wins, and they're going to get that fourth spot, the other two are going to be pretty much solidified. There's not really going to be much of a points battle. But if none of those 5 drivers that aren't Larson, Elliott, or Hamlin win as far as the playoff drivers go, then it's going to be an epic points battle for that last spot. Yeah, trust me, I want Blaney in there too. One of Larson's worst tracks is Martinsville. He didn't run too well there earlier this season too, so I'd be shocked if he won 4 in a row this weekend. Well, probably not, only considering I've seen Larson win a couple times in person this year already. Saw him dominate Nashville and dominate the Coke 600. I saw him dominate Pocono too, but he blew a tire on the last lap in the last turn of that race. And then I saw him. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I saw him win not Dirt Bristol. I saw him win the Bristol playoff race too. So I've seen Larson win 3 times in person this year already, of the 9. So of the 10 races I've seen in person so far this year, Larson's won 3. Larson's won 3 of them. Bowman's won 2. And Elliott won 1. So I've literally seen Hendrick Motorsports, of the 10 races I've gone to in person this year, win 6 of those races. The only non-Hendrick cars I've seen win this year was Blaney at Michigan, Allmendinger in the Indy road course, who else? Brad Keselowski at Talladega, and who's the last one? Oh, Kyle Busch in the second Pocono race. Yeah, Elliott was at Road America. Of the 4 road course races I've seen in person out of the Cup Series, I have only seen Elliott win until the Indy road course when Allmendinger won. Tony Stewart pulled a big block on Jeff Burton getting into turn 3. I don't know if he was trying to get out of his way because he was getting up to speed still, or if he was legitimately trying to pull a block. Been seeing some drivers pit over the last couple laps, so we got green flag pit stops going on. The second time in the race here tonight. Probably going to start at the bottom and earn my way to the top. Yeah, that's why I'd probably prefer not to run Hendrick, but you guys get the vote, so that's all for you. I mean, we could switch teams too. It's just for really the first season. We might do more polls going forward. I'll probably stick with Hendrick for the first 2 seasons, but maybe like when we get into the 3rd season of the career mode, I might try somebody different. Just want Larson to win the title. Yeah, he's definitely the favorite. Definitely the favorite. I mean, people might be looking at Martin Truex Jr. as being the favorite because all 3 of his wins were on 750 tracks, but Truex has not won even on a 750 track since really early in the season, so you can't guarantee it, although he did win Phoenix this year, which is where the championship's at. Steve Thomas almost made it 3 wide, almost got into Paul Menard into turn 1 as well. Chase driver Kurt Busch right in front of him. And they are 3 wide. It's like Kevin Harvick, Dale Jarrett, Kurt Busch off the exit of turn 2 are 3 by, well, not 3 by 3, but 3 wide. Oh, Menard is pinching Jimmy Johnson. I think he was trying to get into the pits and does. Contact now with Dale Jarrett. That's not going to work either. Harvick to the middle. Squeezing his way between the race leader Jimmy Johnson and then Kurt Busch. And Busch gets in the wall off turn 2. So Jarrett's going to get around Busch as well as Harvick that time. Jarrett to the inside of Harvick. Side by side for position. Johnson still with just a 1-lap lead on the field. He doesn't seem like he's been as fast in the second run compared to the first run of the race, but obviously still blistering fast. Going to take a gas left for Johnson. He's definitely got to just stay out as long as he possibly can in case we end up getting our first caution of the race. Again, we have not seen one this entire race up to this point. I'm really starting to wonder if in the Cup Series on this game that there's just no cautions, like the AI just doesn't wreck here. Because we've only had 3 caution-free races this year. This was one of the tracks we did it at. Darlington would have been another one. We had a decent amount of cautions in a Busch race there. Not the most recent one. Actually, we went caution-free in the most recent Busch race there. But the first one earlier in the year, we had quite a few. And then Texas was the other racetrack that we went caution-free in the Cup Series. But we don't have a second trip to Texas this season. That was the only trip there. We will go back to Darlington one more time. That'll be the second to last race of the season, and that will be for the Southern 500. And a pretty big spot on the schedule. An ultimate race. Yeah, less than 24 hours away from NASCAR 21 edition being live on the channel. So like, share, subscribe if you are new watching this stream right now. You won't want to miss a thing. Wild custom schedule. The first 4 races of the custom schedule are all on new tracks. And again, you can look at the custom schedule in the community tab as well. I posted that earlier also. The custom schedule as well as the weekly streaming schedule. So the start times for all 4 of those races as well as the career mode premieres next weekend. What time they will be up on the channel. Dale Jr. just came out of the pits. He pitted a couple laps before lap 200. Made it to about lap 101 earlier, so he only made it about 97 laps that time around. Oh, Jr. goes way up the racetrack, getting into 3. And Johnson will lap him again. Earl Arnold Jr., welcome to the stream. Congrats for winning the league this week. Yeah, thanks. Tied with Tim Urban for the lead this week. 260 points. I had a super solid day. Luckily, Busch's issues came in the first 2 stages. I was able to get him in my garage, so he didn't cost me any points. But yeah, outside of that, I had a stellar team. Contact up there getting into 3. The 3 wide. Are they going to make it off the exit of turn 4? We've seen 3 wide actually work for the most part today, although we've seen a lot of contact when drivers have gone 3 wide. The car coming out of the pits, that would be Ryan Newman in the 12. 3 wide between Kenseth, Gordon, Johnson. Newman coming out of the pits just up ahead. This might not end well. Riggs almost gets into Ward Burton. Newman checked up as well as the two cars that were on the outside of Johnson. 3-by-3 at New Hampshire. 99 laps to go at the line. Johnson files himself back in line down the front straightaway between the 0 and the 10. But also, yeah, to go on to the Fantasy League, as far as the playoff standings go, I'm now number 1, too. So I believe you're in second, 16 points behind me, so it's pretty tight still. 2 races to go. Unfortunately, I'd have to assume that I'm not going to get great internet connection at Martinsville, so might not be able to adjust my lineup once I set it before I get to the track. I'll try to do my best. Some tracks I'm able to connect, some tracks I'm not. It's really hit or miss. I was actually able to connect at Bristol. I think the last track I wasn't able to connect at was Road America. Three top 10s, 3 races. There you go. 30 points off the leader. There's no stages, is there? Oh, man, Ray Parker. Ray Parker just came to a stop as he was trying to go onto pit road. Jimmy Johnson ran right into the back of him. Pretty significant hit. They're 3 wide out of the rear view of the 48 off the exit of turn 2. Kenseth, Newman, and Wallace. Kenseth clears them both into turn 3. Johnson was looking out of the rear view mirror when he had ran into the back of Parker in the 141. I swear it seems to be the lap car we accidentally run into the most. I don't know why, but I'll have to look out for him at Talladega if we end up catching him at all. That might be the cause of the big one. Not as wildly chaotic, though, as Pete Nelson. I'll say that. Pete Nelson's had himself a whale of an end of the regular season between Richmond and Watkins Glen. He was all over the place in both those races. I think he caused 2 accidents at Watkins Glen. And last night at Richmond, he hit the inside wall trying to block me into 3, and I didn't even touch him. Just kind of overdrove the corner into the inside wall into 3 at Richmond, and then ricocheted up into Casey Mears, who was on his outside, and put both of those 2 in the outside wall. The funniest things I've seen this season. Playing one more season on Heat 4, owning my own team in the Cup Series. There you go. Didn't you say you reset it recently? Reset it one more time before you switch games. So Johnson pitted at lap 109. I'd probably guess that he'll pit at lap 218 is about as far as he can go on fuel. But again, he is even good to pit now if he wanted to. He's just staying out in case we get another caution. That's why he's got a 3-lap lead on the field. He did have a 1-lap lead on the field before the second set of pit stops started. No, it might have been somebody else in the chat then. Haven't reset it. There was somebody else recently. I was thinking it was you for some reason. Guess I was wrong. Shouldn't be too much damage on the front bumper of the 48. I know he hit Parker pretty hard, but he's still got decent speed. See what this lap time is going to be at the start-finish line. Yeah, 29.130. He's only about a 1/10 of a second off his fastest lap, and that's on about 100 lap older tires. So he is not being factored in at all with any sort of significant damage. Not knock any speed out of it. Very fortunate that that was the case. Also fortunate it stayed green. He wouldn't have wanted to be involved in a caution because he would not have been able to pit for fuel or tires if he is involved in the yellow. Expecting Johnson to likely go out here and dominate the race coming in. He's done just that through the first 212 laps. It's obviously helped it stayed caution-free, but he's trying to lead all 600 laps at the Magic Mile this season if he could go on to victory lane. And obviously continue to lead the rest of the laps in this race because so far he's led over the first 200. 113 career mode wins. Oh, that's between every series, I'm assuming. Yeah, it kind of stinks there's no custom setups that you could use in NASCAR 21 Ignition right now, so you know, if the AI is really strong at a particular track like they seem to be at Dirt Bristol, it's not going to be easy. And those have been people that are running on non-hardest difficulty. I plan on running on the hardest difficulty. I might drop it down one notch for the Dirt Bristol race to Champions, only because I have seen it just be ridiculously hard at that track, but only because there's no custom setup I can use. So. Unless that becomes an option with the patches on the next few days, but I doubt it. Who knows? Maybe I'll just stick with the hardest difficulty anyway. I probably will, just to keep the consistency. I don't think I'm going to drop it at all. I've never done that before. Why start to do it now? Johnson is going to pit at lap 218. That will be a scheduled second and final pit stop of the race today. Even if we do get a caution, he's not going to pit and allow everybody else to get the wave around, with him being the only driver on the lead lap. Once everything cycles through, even. Just gotta keep on keeping on. Just in case cautions do breed cautions late in the race. Johnson going to stay out this time by. He'll pit the following time. Off turn 4. Looking underneath Barry Baker by the time he makes it into turn 1. Johnson will pit this time. Never locked the tires at all, never slid. Easy going onto the pit lane for the second straight time. Really fourth straight if you count the first 2 races this season as well. So nothing but green flag pit stops for ourselves at New Hampshire through both races this season. Crazy. Now we just got to hope that we got a clean stop the rest of the race. Or clean stop and then hopefully no yellows the rest of the race. There's the clean stop. Hardly any scratches on the front of the race car still. Johnson going to make his way out of the pit lane. A little bit behind where Dale Jr. and Jeff Green are at. Johnson going to drive him pretty deep. Oh, Jr. entered low, and then he moved up the track in the center of the corner. Maybe struggled with the handling there. Johnson clears him off turn 4. So Dale Jr. now 2 laps down with just 81 laps to go. These chase drivers look like they're going to have to wait at least another race before you can think about trying to take that points lead from Johnson. Johnson did not lead in the points until after the 19th race of the season, so he only led for a little while in the point standings to the end of the regular season. Only the final 6 races he was the points leader in the regular season. But he has not lost that points lead since taking it for the first time this year. And it was a DNF right here at New Hampshire for Jeff Gordon, which allowed him to gain as many points as he did on Gordon. If Gordon never DNF'd, Johnson still would have won the points championship, assuming Gordon wouldn't have beat him at New Hampshire that day, which I don't think it was going to be the case, knowing how dominant of a car Johnson has not only today, but in that first race at New Hampshire as well. But it would have been a lot tighter. It definitely would have came down to the final couple laps at Richmond, waiting out to see if we were going to get another late race yellow or not. And we would have probably only beaten him by less than 100 points for sure. That was definitely the difference maker. We do have 3 drivers that are out of the race today with blown engines. We only saw 2 of them, and I couldn't even tell who they were. I'm probably going to bank on Elliott Sadler being one of them. I have not seen Sadler at all today that I can recall, so I have a feeling Elliott Sadler has blown another engine. I hate to say it, but the way the trends have been with him this season, and not even like the whole season, really just the last 10 races. 11 if you make it today as well. But not looking good for any Elliott Sadler fans out there. Elliott Sadler was a pretty cool dude. He was a pretty funny guy. Won what? Four career cup races? So I believe Jeff Gordon is in second place right now. He's just hoping that engine makes it to the end, unlike what happened at New Hampshire earlier this season. And if it stays great, he's likely going to have a second place finish. I don't see Ryan Newman or anybody else running him back down. Unless there is somebody close to him, but I don't think so. I think Newman's in third. And could be wrong because there's no actual leaderboard in this game while you're racing. Can't pause it in Thunder like you can in Thunder 04 either. And even Thunder 04, after every lap, it notifies you within 2 positions in front of you and behind you, at least, who the drivers are. But that's not the case in this game. And there is no leaderboard whatsoever. Whoever said there was going to be 5 cautions today, I know the race isn't over yet, but I don't see there being 5 cautions today. I think we're lucky if we even get 1 at this point, considering how the first race at New Hampshire went this season. And actually, I was wrong there. I guess Ryan Newman was in second place. Johnson's 2 laps ahead of the field now. I was thinking Jeff Gordon might have been in front of us. I guess he was already 2 laps down. Maybe Gordon short pitted for his final stop of the day already. And if everybody else has to make a second stop, or a third stop rather, then maybe he'll cycle back up to second. I do believe some drivers will make it, but not everybody. That could shake the running order up for the AI drivers, especially the other 9 that are in the chase, excluding Johnson, who we know can make it on field to the end with ease. Did it the first race this season, and he's on an easy enough pace to be able to do it again the second time this year. Yeah, NASCAR 21 does have a leaderboard. It's actually bigger than any other NASCAR game I can remember, excluding 08 or 09 that has a live leaderboard, but I've never played those games at least, and again, that's a little unique compared to any other game ever. Yeah, I figured that was your prediction, but because I had a comment wrong from you earlier today, I didn't want to say it was you and be wrong again. Well, 70 to go. realized Johnson ran a 29.0 that last lap again. Let's see if he can get into the 28-second lap barrier. He has not done that today. Be tough to do in lap traffic, though. Johnson drove deep into turn 3. All 4 tires down on the apron. It's stuck, though. Nice thing with having 2 laps on the field, we get a caution. Whoever will be in second place at the time of the yellow will only get 1 of the 2 laps back. And 300 miles at New Hampshire. 300 laps, and we're on pace to getting there in less than 2.5 hours again this season. We started this race just after 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. We only got 67 laps to go. Almost 8 o'clock. We started the stream at 6, but the race itself probably didn't start until a few minutes after. Pretty tame first race of the chase. Like I said, though, I just feel like Talladega is definitely going to be the big difference maker. And it is going to be super intense, as Talladega always is, especially with their chase race. Does have a chance to start 5-0-0. Yeah, that'd be pretty solid. That's a great start to the year for your team. The Red Wings started 2-0-1, then they lost their next 2. I didn't see if they won or lost last night. Patrick Chavalier, welcome to the stream. Johnson just dominating another New Hampshire race this season. And another caution-free one up to this point as well. See a lot of drivers pitting at the end of the race if it does stay green. If we do get a caution, I'd imagine they'll pit under the yellow. Johnson will stay out no matter what, just to make sure nobody can take the wave around. Caution might be needed for some of these guys just to make it on field too. So they may end up staying out, but not everybody. I can guarantee if we get a caution, we're going to have a decent amount of drivers that we know for a fact can't make it even with a caution. They're definitely going to play it safe and pit. So that way they'll be plenty good to the end from that point on. Again, if you have not voted for the driver, or I should say the team that you want me to race on, yeah, I guess I worded that correctly. I thought I worded it wrong for some reason. I was right. But if you have not voted in the poll in the community tab on the channel, do so. Cast your vote for who you want me to race as in the NASCAR 21 Ignition Career Mode. That will start Friday night, but I have to get those recorded on Thursday, the first 2 episodes. So that's why we're ending the voting tonight. That and I have to work the next 2 days, so it'll be tough to get a community post in while I'm at work. I will be streaming when I get home, so just got until 10:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight to cast your vote if you haven't already. if you wanted to wait it out the next 2.5 hours. I'm taking a screenshot right at 10:30, so that way I go to bed. And I guess I'll probably have a community post sometime tomorrow, just stating who won the poll at the time of 10:30. That will be the deadline. If there is a tie for some reason, then I guess I'll just have another poll tomorrow between just those two. If there is a tie, or maybe a 3-way tie or 4-way tie. If there is a tie, for some reason, if there's somehow a 4-way tie at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight, then I'll leave the poll open, and then when I get up in the morning, at about I don't know, probably 4:45 roughly, I'm getting up tomorrow morning, so when I get up in the morning, then I'll check the poll from then. If there's somehow a 4-way tie, I don't think it's even possible. Well, I mean, it is possible, I guess, if we get a lot more votes, but I know Hendrick and colleague were quite a ways ahead of, like, say, Chip Ganassi Racing, at least when I went live about 2 hours ago. We haven't had a caution, so I haven't even really been able to look at the poll since then. I'll probably take a look right before I end the stream. Those are deep. They could score. They won 7-3 the other night. Wow. Yeah, the Red Wings, I don't know. I don't even know what to make of it. Like, they're terrible on defense the opening game. And then they played super solid defense when they won. But it's like when they win, they're shutting teams down to 0-1 goal. But the games they're losing, they're giving up 4 or 5, or like we did against the Lightning, 7 goals in a game. I mean, it's just, you can't do that and expect to win. I mean, maybe you can get away with it here and there throughout the season, but that's kind of been the goal, or the Achilles heel, I guess, for the Red Wings the last couple of years. That and then the power play has been terrible the last couple of seasons. For whatever reason, we've been struggling to score on the power play. I think we had the worst power play goal percentage each of the last 2 seasons. It's just bad. And it's like not even like that close to a couple other teams that are barely in front of us. Like, we're super, super bad at that. We got Ray Parker coming up. Oh, Parker put the bumper to the left rear of the 171 of Steve Thomas. Johnson clears Thomas. He's underneath Parker. Almost made contact with him. Almost did it again. Got to clear Parker rather down the back straightaway though. We passed him cleanly that time. We came close. Steve Thomas going to try to cross Parker over through 3 and 4. It looks like. Tightly side by side back to the start-finish line. Kyle the King fan, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Just in time, we got NASCAR 21 Ignition coming up tomorrow night. Our Daytona 500 for custom schedule season 1. Again, definitely want to make sure you're there at the very start of the stream so you can cast your vote tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for what driver I will use for that first season. And the career mode vote will be in the poll, and you have till 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight to vote for that. That's like 5 months. I remember you, though. I remember the name. Welcome back. I didn't realize it's been that long, but welcome back. Johnson again with a 2-lap lead on the field. 48 laps to go this time by for the 48 car. Trying to lead every lap in a cup race for just the second time this season. Well, that's a pretty strong feat just to do once in a season, but it's about to be the second time, and it's going to be at the same racetrack if that ends up happening as well. Probably chatting over your most popular video, but won't see it because my old channel deleted and now reincarnated. Are you talking about the Talladega stream we had a few weeks ago? I don't know how many views that's up to now, but I know it was over 17,000 last I checked. It's a crazy day in the channel's history. I think by the end of the stream itself, we had like 12,000, and then when I went to bed that night, it was like 14,000, and then I woke up the next morning, it was like 15,000. By the time I got home from work the next day, it was like up to 17,000. I was like, my goodness, it was insane. Oh, you're wrong. It wasn't that stream then? By the way, the post-race analysis video was in the process of uploading for a couple hours at the time of me starting the stream. I believe it is uploaded on the channel now, so check that out at the end of the night too. My thoughts and a review of how the predictions went before the Cup race at Kansas yesterday. Oh, jeez. Loose off turn 4 there, driving a little too low, trying to sneak under the 22 of Scott Wimmer. Trying to put the rookie another lap down in this one. You drive backwards in thunder. No, that's not the content on this channel. I don't think I've ever done that on this channel. We get some gnarly wrecks outside of it. I'm sure we'll see some gnarly wrecks in NASCAR 21 Ignition. Especially in a full race. Oh my goodness. You know, now that I think about it, with a full race and how buggy the cautions are, something bad is going to happen at Daytona in the 500 tomorrow night. I just have that feeling. I'm going to turn the black flags off just in case something happens. I'm not going to pass below the WL line, or if I do, I'll give up the position. But as far as, like, I just have that feeling we're going to get a ginormous crash. People are going to pile into it. And even if we miss it the first time, they're still going to be there when we get back the next lap. And if I have to go to the apron to miss it, I will. I don't want to get black flag for it because I feel like the game will do that. It will be a wild race tomorrow night, whether it's for the good or the bad reasons. But I can guarantee you it will be very unpredictable. And that custom schedule season in general is going to be very, very highly unpredictable considering the schedule. Again, you can look at the schedule on the community tab on the channel that was posted earlier on this afternoon. And you get to look at the schedule that we have upcoming, what the first few races are, what our playoffs look like, as the playoffs are just going to be insane like it was on Heat 5 as far as the racetracks we go on to. a lot of the same racetracks, but the order has been really randomized compared to what it was before. There are some new tracks in the playoffs that we did not run at, and obviously there's new tracks on the schedule in general we never would have ran at. A lot of those towards the beginning of the season. Back in the first, I should say the second through fourth races of the year are all going to be new tracks for the Cup Series, COTA, then Nashville, and then Dirt Bristol. A little contact up ahead between Kurt Busch and Terry Labonte in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Again, we are still caution-free. We've had 3 caution-free races so far this season. This could be the 4th. And this is the opening race of the chase, but it has been a calm, cool, and collected night for the most part for all these drivers. You can definitely tell a lot of the chase drivers being pretty patient. Outside of Kurt Busch right there, moving Terry Labonte out of the way. I don't even think they're on the same lap. They may be. First school, I'm watching that. Yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard start time tomorrow night will be the Daytona 500 live stream. Again, every week I'll be posting the weekly schedule for the streaming start times and what tracks we're going to what night, especially, alternating between the custom schedule and the career mode for NASCAR 21 Ignition to make it confusing for some of you guys. But you can look at the community tab and not only have the schedule on there for the entire season for the custom schedule, but we'll also have the weekly streaming schedule every Monday. Those will be posted. We started doing that last week, and then this week obviously did it again. That'll be a weekly occurrence on Mondays. Going, Michael Waltrip next 2 lap cars ahead of Jimmy Johnson. Probably going to see some drivers pit here in the next 20 laps, 15-20 laps for their final stop of the day if they can't make it. 77 moved up like he got bumped by Waltrip, but I don't think he did. Johnson wanted to clear going off the exit of turn 4, couldn't quite do it. Now he clears him into 1 and 2, but Michael Waltrip going to try to shoot to the inside of Jimmy Johnson. Oh, a little contact off the exit of turn 2 between the 15 and the 48. Johnson kind of came down a little bit. Waltrip also came up, and now they're 3 wide as Kurt Busch ducks to the inside of Michael Waltrip and Brendan Gaughan, and 3 wide at New Hampshire can get tight. We've seen it work at times today, but see if it's going to work here. There's still 3 wide. There's a little bit of a squeeze off the exit of turn 2, but it looks like they'll make it, and Kurt Busch clears them both. Donate $5. There's no wreck at Daytona. Man, we're not going through that race. I would assume we're going to get cautions in that race, but I just don't feel like every wreck is going to have cautions. Which with the damage model, which, by the way, I love the damage model on NASCAR 21 Ignition. That's one thing I do love about the game, from what I've seen at least. I haven't played it, obviously, yet, but the damage model looks realistic, and I love the way that you can blow a tire if you have significant damage. So that's a pretty cool feature that we have not had in the game in quite some time. So yeah, if you get into a wreck, and you can't repair all the damage either if you get into a serious accident. So that'll hinder us throughout a full race. So that is what I love. I mean, that's the same thing with these EA Sports games. So definitely gonna have to rely on myself running clean. We don't DNF too often. I think in the last season the last 2 seasons we ran in the career mode on NASCAR Heat 5. The second to last season we only had 2 DNFs. I think the last season we had 5 or 6, but we were probably a little bit too aggressive at times, causing the DNFs there. But we were very patient. We only DNF'd twice. With NASCAR Heat 5, that's saying something because you can hit the wall head on at like 30 miles an hour and DNF in that game. So we are very, very patient. New game, though, with NASCAR 21 Ignition, new game engine and everything. It's going to be completely different handling. So that's something that first season I'm going to have to get used to, and with the full races Definitely going to have to be super, super patient, especially on the super speedways. Start with the Daytona 500 tomorrow night. As far as this race goes, Johnson has been absolutely patient. Yeah, he made contact with Waltrip a couple laps ago, but outside of that, he has made very little contact with anybody. I think he's only gotten into the wall once this entire race in the first 274 laps out of 300 now. Why didn't I get one? I'm a content creator. I just haven't been reached out, I guess, by NASCAR or by Motorsport Games. I don't know. I don't talk all that bad about NASCAR Heat or the new games. I mean, honestly, I'm a really positive person anyway. So I don't know. Just maybe next year. Not a lot of There's only like 2 NASCAR YouTubers that I know I actually have a channel. One of them probably forgot. So as far as the other ones though, 3 wide again up there, but they made it off the exit of turn 2. And then there's a couple other NASCAR YouTubers I've met in person, but I didn't tell them I had a YouTube channel. I didn't feel like my first time ever meeting them that I was gonna talk about it. I don't know. I know if I meet those same people again, I'll mention something because that won't be the first time I'll see them. But that was a big block by Kyle Petty back there. Moved down right over top of Casey Kane. Kane gonna pull out a line down the back straightaway, and he's gonna take it 3 wide into turns 3 and 4 as they make it through. A lot of the traffic has really been bunched up here as of late. Just 24 laps to go. Go backwards, please. Now, this is a chase race. Can't be doing this. And we got cautions on anyway. As soon as we go backwards, the caution's coming out. And you don't race back to the line in this game either, so you wouldn't even get away with it. DB Forever 85, welcome to the stream. Lions losing streak continues, yeah. Yes, it does. They've played a lot of close games this year, which tells me that they're not as bad as what their record says. I mean, I just feel like they're tanking. You can't lose that many games that close, especially if you blow leads and stuff late in the game every single time. Like I mean, I guess you could, but I just feel like they're tanking intentionally. Like, I feel like they're better. I'm not saying that they're a top-notch team, but I feel like they should have at least 2 wins this year if they weren't tanking. At least, maybe 3. I could see them honestly with 4 wins this year if they weren't tanking. I don't think they're that bad. I just think knowing that they have 3 draft picks next year, they're going to want as high a draft picks as they possibly can get. And obviously, one of those is their own, so if they're the worst team in the league, they'll have the #1 pick. Moment of silence for the Jacks. Yeah, definitely a good way to start the chase. 20 laps to go for Jimmy Johnson. Again, we will not pick up this game again for a few more weeks. We'll have all NASCAR 21 ignition for the rest of this week, all of next week, and probably most of the week after. But once we get into the offseason, we'll probably end up doing 1 or 2 races of this game a week to get to the end of the season. To try and see if we can get Jimmy Johnson his first title. Rusty Wallace going to be one of the first drivers onto pit road with 19 to go this time by. So again, not everybody can make it off field at the end of the race. We'll have to make a 3rd stop, but we will see quite a few drivers be able to make it to the end. They need a quarterback in the draft. I think Jared Goff is a good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but I think he's a lot better than people perceive. I think he can be a quarterback of that franchise. I really do. They should not draft a quarterback. What they need to do is get some weapons offensively. Because outside of Hawkinson, they've got nobody. They've got no wide receivers. They need to get a wideout in the first round. They need to do a lot of things, but I feel like that and then their secondary is where they're going to have to beef up in the offseason. Or in the draft, whatever they decide to do it in the offseason, but they're going to have to do something. Not for me, I wanted a close race. Yeah, I mean, we dominated New Hampshire earlier this year. I kind of expected this to happen. The only way we weren't going to have this again is if we would have had a caution, but we just never had a yellow. For the second straight New Hampshire race. And even if we get one now, it's almost too little too late as long as Jimmy doesn't get caught up in it. The 143 car, Rocky Perry coming into the pits. Johnson realized that. Pulled to the high side so he wasn't going to run in the back of him like he did Ray Parker almost 100 laps ago. Speaking of Parker, there he is. That 141 car. This will be Johnson's 12th win of the season. Obviously starting 1-for-1 in the chase. It would also be his second win in a row. And just think, 2 races in a row, or 2 races combined, he will have led all but 2 laps. Of the last 700 laps ran at the end of this New Hampshire race, if everything stays the way it is, he will lead 698 of those laps. Utter dominance between Richmond and New Hampshire. Obviously, this a lot bigger margin of victory. We did have 6 drivers finish on the lead lap at Richmond, but stayed out of trouble in that race. This one, he stayed out of trouble and has an absolute rocket ship of an engine strapped underneath the hood of this Lowe's 48 Chevrolet. Yeah, DeAndre Swift's not bad. But they need a wideout, though. Oh, contact car in the wall, Ricky Rudd. Rudd gets the boot from one of those cars in the pack. I think it was Jeff Green in the 43, but I'm not entirely sure. We almost saw our first caution of the race right in front of the race leader. Into the wall went Rudd. Chase driver Tony Stewart's right in the middle of it, too. Tony Stewart pitting now as Casey Mears and Jimmy Johnson had to check up off the exit of turn 4. So Stewart not going to make it on fuel to the end. Still got to survive. Just because we have a 2-lap lead doesn't mean we can't DNF. $11 to go. Johnson to the inside of Jeff Green. There's Tony Stewart coming out of the pit lane. Down onto the apron of the track. Johnson easily clears Green off the exit of turn 2. Got up to 9 people watching here recently. Hit that like button, everybody, if you haven't already. Currently 6 likes on the stream. Try to see if we can get that to 10 in the last 10 laps of this race. Has Sadler blown an engine? I don't know. I haven't seen him blow an engine. We do have 3 drivers out of the race with a blown engine so far. But I have not seen Elliott Sadler like this entire race, so that leads me to believe that he has blown an engine tonight. Again, if he has, that'll be the 8th time he will have blown an engine in an 11-race stretch. So we'll definitely check through the entire finishing results to see if that is the case, who all DNF'd. I believe all the chase drivers are still on the racetrack. I don't think a single chase driver has had any major issues here tonight. We'll obviously check the updated point standings as well at the end of this race. Again, all chase long, you will see the points on the upper left-hand corner of the screen as you see coming into the night. Now those will fluctuate from race to race to race. So more leaders going to be pitting this time, according to Chad Knaus. Well, at least one more of them. I believe that was Dale Jr. in the pit lane. He was in the top 5 all night long. It's going to give Jimmy Johnson a 3-lap lead on the field now. He clears Marlin off the exit of turn 2. Clean pass. Yeah, I agree with the offensive line, by the way, for the Lions, too. I mean, the Packers' defense isn't that great, and Goff is getting killed by the Packers' pass rush. They don't even rush the passer that much. I mean, it was raining that night, too, but it didn't look pretty. I'll get to see how bad the Lions are in person Week 18. See them play the Packers later this season. They'll be going to that game. It works out with it being in the NASCAR offseason, too, so I'll be in Detroit for that one. That'll be the first time I will have been to Detroit since before COVID. I just went to a Tigers game earlier this year, but it was in Cleveland. Definitely got to go next year because I feel like Detroit's going to be pretty good. Plan on getting to a couple Red Wings games this winter, too, so. Contact off the exit of turn 4. They're 3 wide up there again. A lot of lap traffic coming up for the 48 in the final few laps. We'll bunch together. Everybody's fighting for every position they can get. Oh, we got trouble off turn 2. Might have gotten stacked up a little bit more again somewhere around the racetrack, but again, we stay green. Might force an overtime finish here. We get a late yellow. The last 20 to 30 laps of this race, we've nearly seen a couple cautions. Like the entire first 270 to 280 laps before that have been super clean. 2 laps to go. 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. Jimmy Johnson, Mike Murphy, and Robbie Gordon still 3 wide into 3. A little contact. Johnson overdrives the corner. 133 trying to stuff underneath as well, and he almost makes contact with Murray. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go at New Hampshire. Our 4th caution-free race is upon us now. No cautions come out in the final lap of an EA Sports NASCAR video game. And so Jimmy Johnson will win his 12th race of the year. He'll go 1 for 1 to start the chase. 2 wins in a row. It'll be the 16th win for Hendrick Motorsports this season. Checkered flag waves. Jimmy Johnson will win the chase opener at the Magic Mile. Nice win for Jimmy Johnson as he puts on the burnout in front of the crowd here at New Hampshire. And for the 2nd time this year, he'll be getting some lobsters in Victory Lane. Now going to run a Polish victory lap after the front stretch burnout. So 4th caution-free race of the year. 2 of them right here at the Magic Mile at New Hampshire. Nope, Elliott Sadler did not make the chase with all the DNFs he had in the regular season. Specifically, the second half of the regular season. Jeez. Not as big of a margin of victory. Again, we weren't quite as fast in this race compared to where we were at New Hampshire earlier this year. But not to say the least, we were still super, super fast today. 2 hours, 27 minutes total time on the races. This went caution-free, so all 300 laps, 300 miles in less than 2.5 hours because the race went caution-free, pretty quick race pace. And there you see Jimmy Johnson making history again this season, leading every lap in a race, just like he did at New Hampshire earlier this year. Again, only the second race I've ever done that in the Cup Series on this game, and they were both this season with Jimmy Johnson at New Hampshire, so kind of coincidental there. Matt Kenseth finishes second. He came in 10th of the chase drivers, so the first race of the chase, he's capitalizing on the points battle, getting bunched back up again. Ryan Newman ends up third, Jeff Gordon fourth, Kevin Harvick rounds out the top five, so all chase drivers in the top at least 7 there. So the top 7 were all chase drivers. Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr. 6th, Tony Stewart 7th. And then the first non-chase driver was Jeff Burton in 8th. Another chase driver, Bobby Labonte, finished 9th. Rookie, and the only rookie in the chase, Casey Kane, rounds out the top 10. The only other chase driver was Kurt Busch, and he finished 11th. So all 10 chase drivers finished in the top 11 here today. That's just how competitive this chase is going to be. Obviously, it was great. Johnson dominated. Nobody else got any bonus points, but we didn't pull all that far ahead from really anybody. Yep, there it is. Elliott Sadler. Oh, my God. That's 8 of the last 11 races Elliott Sadler has blown an engine. It's just been comical relief over the last week and a half. Oh, my goodness. And he actually finished second at Richmond last night. So much for that. Jamie McMurray blew an engine. Elliott Sadler blew an engine. Mark Martin, Greg Biffle both blew engines. Tyler Walker blew an engine. Joe Nemechek blew an engine. Barry Baker blew an engine. Paul Menard blew an engine. Scott Riggs blew an engine. And that was it. So we had a lot of engine failures there. I thought we only had 3. I guess we had more than 3. I was wrong on that one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had 9 engine failures tonight at the Magic Mile. Well, now we just got to check the point standings. Skip out of that quickly. We'll check the point standings out. Sadler deserves better. Yes, he does. Dale Jarrett finished the race. I don't know where he finished. He was outside the top 10, but he did finish. Another short track for the 3rd straight race. It's the MBNA America 400 at the Dover International Raceway, but that will be coming up in a few weeks. Again, NASCAR 21 Ignition will take over not only tomorrow, but the rest of this week, all of next week, and most of the week after that before we come back to run this Dover race and Dover-Talladega, the next 2 races of the chase. Just 9 races left to crowning a champion. We'll take a look at the point standings after this race today. I believe Jeff Gordon is going to be 25. Gordon didn't even finish second. My bad. So I'll be quiet. But again, all the chase drivers finished in the top 11. That's just insane. All 10 of them through the first race. So Johnson extends the points lead. Gordon is still second. It's a 35-point lead for Jimmy Johnson. He only expanded the lead 30 points today. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 50 points back in 3rd. Ryan Newman 4th. It's actually a 3-way tie for 3rd right now between Dale Jr., Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick to round out the top 5 in points. Kenseth, who came in 10th, already gains 3 spots in points. He's 65 back after a 2nd place finish. In 7th, rookie Casey Kane 8th there. Kurt Busch rounds out the 10 chase drivers. He was the only chase driver to not finish in the top 10, finishing 11, so he's 95 points back. So still only 95 points separate the top 10. 9 races to go, and the top 10 are all within 1 race of each other still. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be an epic points battle when we get back to this. But again, NASCAR 21 Ignition tomorrow night on the channel, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. New game, new stream, new season, custom schedule there. You guys will get to vote. And you have less than 2 hours to cast your vote for which team I will race for in the NASCAR 21 Ignition career mode. Go into the community tab and vote there on the poll. I'll actually check the poll right now just to see where everything's stacking up before I click end stream. Alrighty. So let me pull my channel up real quick. Community. Currently leading the poll is Hendrick Motorsports, 26 votes so far, 58% for Hendrick Motorsports. Colleague Racing is second right now at 31%. So it's not as tight as what it was before I went live. I think it was like 50 to 35. So it's definitely expanded. So make sure you cast your vote. Gaunt Brothers at 8% right now, and Chip Ganassi Racing at 4%. Those were all based off of the polls from yesterday that we had from the A-tier teams, the B-tier teams, and the C-tier teams. So definitely make sure you vote. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. NASCAR 21 Ignition again at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's gonna be a fun stream. It's probably gonna be one of the most viewed streams on the channel, considering NASCAR Heat 5 Daytona 500, my first ever stream, and then the NASCAR Heat 4 Daytona 500, NASCAR Heat 5 Daytona 500 were my two most viewed streams until Talladega's Cup race a couple weeks ago. So yeah, it's gonna be a big day on the channel tomorrow. So thanks everybody. I'll catch you tomorrow night. Have a good rest of your Monday.